Storm from Melbourne town will blow the others off the ground. We are the Storm and we're number one.
Hey everyone, and welcome to NRL Live Chat 2.0 Podcast 2024 Team Wrap Up. I'm Breno and I'm here with PJ once again.
How you doing, man? Today it's the team from the south, the far south. I mean, not South Sydney,
South
but the team from the far
Mexicans.
south, the Melbourne Storm, who finished second this year after finishing minor premiers but losing the grand final. So we think we should finish the season with the Panthers as the premiers. So we'll have them in the next episode. But for now, the second place Melbourne Storm, Breno.
I love the sound effects. That was good.
Thank you.
So, as you said, first placed Melbourne Storm in the regular season, minor premiers, and we'll break down how they went through the year and how they ended up in the finals, and look at their possibility of how they're going to go in 2025. So, PJ, kick us off with the overall view of the Storm 2024 season.
Storm were fantastic, mate. They started the season playing the Panthers. They finished the season playing the Panthers. Round one, 8-0 win to the Storm. It was a scratchy performance from both teams. They looked a little rusty from a long off season. Storm then went in and played scratchy against the Warriors and then lost to the Knights. And we're thinking, wow, maybe the Storm aren't going to be that team that wins everything this year.
Yeah.
And then they proceeded to win many games in a row with just one loss in the middle there against the Sharks. But I think they can be very impressed with the season. They've had a stable lineup. Coach of the year, Craig Bellyache Bellamy, had another cracking year as a leader, turning blokes that we've never heard of like Will Warbrick. Who's that? Scores a try on every game I don't have him in my multi. So he was on fire this year. Turned a few other guys into regular first graders. Finished with the minor premierships by 4 points, mind you. And I think the Storm can be pretty happy with the season despite the grand final disappointment.
Yeah, they had a great season. Yeah, from round 13, they went into first place and stayed there for the rest of the year. You don't get much better than that. Even though they had a number of big stars out throughout the year, they managed to take the minor premiership by 4 points, like you mentioned, and they cruised through the finals, only to be beaten by the now four-time premiers, the Panthers. Disappointing for the way they went in 2024, but still much. It was a great year, and we can probably see them back there in the grand final next year, possibly. Well done, Storm.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing when you bring up the stats in a minute. You know, they had Cameron Munster missing for big chunks of the season. I think there were 2 big stints he was out. They still finished second in points scored.
Yeah,
they've just got so many weapons on the park, Melbourne.
Absolutely. So they finished in first place after the regular season, 44 points. They won 19 games, lost 5. Points difference, 243. Points scored, 692. Points conceded, 449.
Yeah, so that's, as I said, second best attack in the comp, 692. Only the Roosters scored more points. And in defence, they were the 4th best. And you want to be top 4 in defence if you want to really give the premiership a shake. So they were right where they needed to be, the Storm, in defence. Probably conceded a few too many points in a couple of games there, Bruno.
Yeah.
But they won't be too disappointed with how things turned out, I think.
Did pretty good there. Average points, 29. Average conceded, 18.
Yeah.
Good tackle efficiency.
They let the West Tigers score 28 on them. They let the Warriors score 24. The Knights scored 28. Manly scored 26. And there was one earlier in the season, Broncos, 32. The Broncos scored and still lost. So there's plenty of points that Melbourne Storm can save there, I reckon. But look at the start of the season there, Breno. Just one blemish all the way up to that Cronulla Sharks game in round 10. And that was one of their only 2 matches they lost at home, the Melbourne Storm. Outstanding, 10-2 at home.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, lots of green.
Lots of green.
So, best game was against, I think, was the Broncos in round 27, believe it or not, last game of the year. Totally destroying any hopes of the Broncos making the finals It was their biggest scoreline all year.
I completely agree. They were on fire.
Yeah, coming into the
They'd already won
finals
the
too,
minor
yeah.
premiership.
Yep.
They rested everyone the week before against the Cowboys. That's why they lost 38-30. But then they put most of the better players back in the team to send a message to the competition. And
Oh, didn't they do that? Yeah, absolutely.
50 on a week before the semi-finals, mate. As a message sent by the Storm, and they didn't really drop a peg in the finals either. 37 against the Sharks, 48 against the Roosters, only to lose the last hurdle, 14-6 to the Panthers in the big one. What about your worst loss, Breno? I'm going to go with the Dragons 18-16
Okay.
in Melbourne. I watched that game twice, actually. I don't normally watch games twice, but Melbourne Storm, I don't know what it was that day. Let's just say they didn't look very motivated. But they were awful. They were absolutely awful. Like the Dragons played out of their skin and probably played the best they could have. But Melbourne just looked like they were trying to get to the 80th minute, score a try and win.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were trying to score 50 or 40. They just kind of looked like they were going through the motions the whole time. And after, like I said, successive wins over big teams, the Roosters, the Raiders, the Dolphins, who were travelling okay at that round 16 mark, they'd put some good performances together. And then to lose that game in that way, I think, they could have done it the next week against the Rabbits, but they didn't.
Yeah, again, when I was looking at it, it was very hard to find their worst game. And I agree with you. Yeah, definitely the Dragons in round 22 should have won that one. Everyone expected them to. And Dragons just snuck home, beating them 18-16. And everyone started looking at the Dragons going, where do these guys come from?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was the first loss the Storm had against the Dragons since like 1999 or something. It was at home, I mean. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so looking at some of the players for the year. So Harry Grant had an absolute cracking year. Done
Yeah,
really
he was a
well, yeah.
really good hooker. Really good hooker. Reid Marnie topped the tackle count, 1,240, and Harry got 935. Wow, that's pretty insane. But Nick Meaney was doing good as a goal kicker. Will Warbrick, as we said, scoring plenty of tries, but well off the top. Khan Pereira, he got 24 for the season as the golden boot for tries. What do we call that?
I'm not sure what they call it.
I forget what it's called now. Yeah, I've just gone blank. But 15, and he is a no one. Like who's he? He
Come
got
from
him.
nowhere, yeah.
I think I read he come from AFL, and Bellamy was trying to convince him the NRL's a better game. It's like, who needs to be convinced of that? Like, come on, it's so
Well,
obvious,
in Melbourne,
And,
yeah.
and
So,
he comes into a Melbourne Storm team, and I think he's playing for Australia now.
yeah, right. That was a quick turnaround, wasn't it? And Nick
Yeah.
Meaney, like you said, 106 goals. He topped the goal kicking for the year, and Nick Meaney wasn't far off Val Holmes in the points department. So
Yeah. When you score as many tries as a Storm, mate, that means you're going to kick a lot of goals. So what are you thinking for next year, Breno?
next year,
So let's have a look at the players.
we'll have a look at look at the players first. Yeah,
Yeah, Utokamanu from the West Tigers. He's had enough of losing, so he's gone to the Storm, probably on a minimum contract, because pretty much how they only get people. Desperate, but same team, right?
hasn't
Remus
changed much
Smith's
at all.
gone to the
Yeah,
Catalans. No loss there. Utokomanu's a good player. The Storm are going to be right up in that top two again next year.
yeah. I'm predicting top two. I reckon they'll be back in the grand final next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with not much change there. They're just going to keep going, keep playing how they do, and do their thing.
Very stable lineup. They've kept their salary cap under control, which is great for them. And they've probably got one more year before they start getting people going, hey, I want a pay rise.
Yeah.
So I think they'll give the premiership a show. I'm going second. Breno, probably first. Actually, I'll go first. I think Melbourne's going to come first next year.
I'd put money on that too. Yeah, probably paying $1.02 or something.
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
All right, so that's the Storm, everyone. That's our minor premiers. Make sure you comment away and let us know what you think. then we're going to move on to the next one. What's the next one? The big one.
The Penny Panthers, the Premiership. The Premiership
Premiers.
Penrith Panthers. The Triple P. The Premier Penrith Panthers. Say that with a mouthful of marbles. Fair dinkum.
And when
Let us know in the comments anyway.
And when we
Let us
come
know in
back,
the
we will
comments.
have him say that with a mouthful of marbles. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought of the Storm season, what you think they're going to do next year, and we will see you at Penrith Park.
Ooh, it's on.
The Premier Penrith Panthers.
Premiers. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you soon.
We'll take 'em down. When the storm hits, we'll blow the others out of town.